Welcome to Royal Secret. Royal perfection was put to the test, and royally laughed off. In the polished world of monarchy, where tradition, elegance, and composure reign supreme, moments of spontaneous humanity are as rare as they are irresistible. But on a bright and historic day in Denmark, something unexpected happened. Just as the majestic sound of bells echoed through the city and the royal family stepped out in full glory, one moment of pure, unscripted comedy stole the show. It wasn't a speech. It wasn't a royal decree. It wasn't even the grandeur of Princess Isabella turning 18 and stepping further into her royal destiny. No, it was a simple, awkward, adorable misstep shared between Queen Mary and her eldest daughter, Princess Isabella. And it happened right in front of hundreds of cameras and an adoring crowd. What unfolded outside the cathedral that morning became one of the most talked about royal moments of the year, not because it was planned, but because it wasn't. And the best part, they laughed. Queen Mary, the poised, elegant, once ordinary Australian turned Queen of Denmark, and Princess Isabella, the striking young royal taking bold steps into adulthood, shared a look, burst into laughter, and reminded the world that even royalty can have a clumsy moment. And that sometimes, it's those moments that truly make them feel real. But what exactly happened? Let's take you behind the velvet ropes and flashing cameras, straight into the heart of this unforgettable royal incident. The scene was nothing short of cinematic. Outside the historic cathedral in Copenhagen, the Danish royal family was assembled in full regalia. It was a landmark occasion, not only for the state but for the House of Glucksburg itself. Princess Isabella, second in line to the Danish throne and now officially an adult, was celebrating her 18th birthday. The moment symbolized far more than just a coming of age. It was the quiet preparation of a young woman stepping into a future of service, diplomacy, and royal responsibility. Thousands had gathered. The air buzzed with excitement. Inside the cathedral, ceremonies had unfolded with precision. Outfits were impeccable, protocols followed, choreography mastered. The royal family was the picture of stately perfection. Then came the moment, the royal wave. Queen Mary, ever radiant in her ceremonial ensemble, stood beside her daughter Isabella, who wore an elegant outfit chosen for the occasion, symbolic, traditional, yet youthful. Together, they walked out of the cathedral and stepped toward the crowd. Flanked by King Frederick and the younger royals, the two women prepared for the moment captured by every royal watcher and media lens around the globe, the wave. But just as they turned to greet the sea of waving flags and cheering voices, something unexpected happened. It was a split-second misstep. Queen Mary, elegant as always, raised her hand to wave, and at that very moment, Princess Isabella moved slightly closer. Their elbows bumped in midair, a delicate but unmistakable clink. It wasn't just any bump. It was the kind of awkward dance that happens when two people reach for the same thing at the same time. Mary laughed first, then Isabella, with the unmistakable grin of a teenager trying to keep her composure in front of the world, burst into a full smile. They looked at each other, and both dissolved into quiet, graceful laughter. For a brief, glorious moment, the facade of formality cracked wide open. And standing at the center of it were a mother and daughter, sharing a laugh that cut through the pomp and ceremony like a sunbeam. It was unscripted, real, and utterly charming. And it was captured by hundreds of photographers and mobile phones from every angle. Within minutes, the footage spread across social media like wildfire. Memes were born. News headlines picked it up. Royal bump trended across Europe. And just like that, what could have been a minor hiccup became a viral celebration of humanity within monarchy. Danish royal historian Birgit Sorensen told national media, "Moments like this are what people cherish. It's one thing to admire a royal for their poise and elegance, but it's another to see them smile at themselves, be human. It connects them to the public in a way no speech ever could." International etiquette consultant Charles Wentworth echoed the sentiment. A misstep in royal protocol. Technically, yes, but in terms of relatability and public image, it's a home run. Queen Mary and Princess Isabella handled it with charm and wit. Even longtime royal commentators at Hello! Magazine and Bild Bladet hailed the moment as a refreshing reminder that no matter how rehearsed an event may be, life will always throw in a surprise. And it's how you handle those surprises that reveals true grace. This charming royal incident isn't just about a funny wave, it's also about the girl at the center of it all. Princess Isabella of Denmark turned 18 in April 2025, As the second child of King Frederick X and Queen Mary, she stands as a symbol of Denmark's next royal generation, modern, media-savvy, and deeply rooted in both tradition and progress. Known for her quiet confidence, Isabella has always walked a slightly different path than her older brother, Crown Prince Christian. While Christian has spent years preparing for his future as king, Isabella's journey has reflected a blend of poise, curiosity, and independence. This birthday wasn't just a personal milestone, it marked her official entry into adulthood under royal law. And the cathedral event was meant to be a solemn, structured display of maturity and duty. But irony struck, and the universe decided to welcome Isabella to adulthood not with solemnity, but with laughter. Queen Mary's supportive, quick-witted reaction added an extra layer to the dynamic. It was the gesture of a mother who has raised her daughter under intense scrutiny, guiding her through one of the most unique upbringings imaginable. And in that tiny laugh shared on the cathedral steps, we saw not just royals, but a mother and daughter united in humor and love. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the reaction was instant and explosive. Forget the crown jewels. This elbow bump between Queen Mary and Isabella is the most precious thing I've seen all day. Danish royal news shared, "We love our royals polished, but we adore them when they're human." Isabella and Mary gave us a perfect moment. Kensington Crazy, a popular satirical royal fan account, joked, "They bumped elbows. Somewhere, a palace aide fainted." God bless Danish spontaneity. Fan art, reaction videos, and remixed clips followed. One TikTok creator edited the clip with comedic sound effects and gained over 3 million views in 24 hours. It wasn't just a blunder, it was a media moment. A reminder that sometimes, authenticity isn't a risk, it's a superpower. For Queen Mary, this was hardly the first time she's won public affection by showing her human side. Born Mary Donaldson in Tasmania, Australia, her journey to the Danish throne is often described as a real-life fairy tale. And yet, Mary has always refused to let her title define her personality. She's embraced Danish culture, raised 4 children with discipline and warmth, and handled the spotlight with modern elegance. This moment outside the cathedral was just another page in her long-running story of connection. Because if there's one thing Queen Mary has always done better than most, it's relate. Whether it's comforting children during hospital visits, encouraging young women in education, or, yes, laughing with her daughter after an awkward elbow bump, Queen Mary has mastered the art of being royal and real. As Princess Isabella enters adulthood, every move she makes will be closely watched. But if this event proved anything, it's that she's learning from the best. Handling unexpected pressure, check. Grace under scrutiny, check. A sense of humor, absolutely. The cathedral incident may have lasted mere seconds, but it revealed years of careful upbringing. It showed the world that Isabella isn't just growing up, she's stepping up. And more importantly, she's doing it with her mother by her side. As the cathedral steps returned to quiet and the echoes of laughter faded into royal history, Denmark turned its eyes to the young woman at the center of it all, Princess Isabella of Denmark. The elbow bump was a fleeting moment, but its ripple was massive. Why? Because it wasn't just a cute mistake. It was a symbolic beginning. For the first time, the world wasn't just watching Isabella as a daughter of Queen Mary and King Frederick. They were watching her as a future leader, a public figure, and quite possibly, a future queen consort or senior royal with influence on Denmark's direction for generations. So who is the real Princess Isabella? What makes her different? And how has Queen Mary quietly crafted her daughter's public image over the past 18 years? Let's go deeper than the headlines, to the childhood, expectations, and future responsibilities of the teenage royal who just became one of Europe's most intriguing young figures. Princess Isabella Henrietta Ingrid Margrethe was born on April 21, 2007, the second child and eldest daughter of Crown Prince Frederick, now King Frederick X, and Crown Princess Mary. From the start, her birth was met with public fascination. The first Danish princess born since 1946, her arrival marked a generational shift in royal tradition. Unlike the stiff, polished protocols of past decades, Isabella was born into a monarchy that was changing. With Queen Margrethe's slow easing of duties to Frederick and Mary, and with Mary's uniquely modern and international touch, Isabella's upbringing was shaped by openness. She was not raised solely behind palace gates, but also in public parks, school fields, and even casual cafes, often spotted with her siblings, blending royal privilege with ordinary Danish values. From her earliest public appearances, Isabella made an impression. Not just cute, but expressive, bold, at times cheeky, and always unmistakably individual. By the time she was 10, she had already traveled abroad with her parents, made royal balcony appearances, and handled herself with confidence among heads of state. But behind that composure was a carefully curated education, guided by the woman many now call Denmark's secret weapon, Queen Mary. Queen Mary's influence on her daughter's development cannot be overstated. As a former commoner herself, Mary understood the unique pressures her children would face, particularly Isabella, growing up in the long shadow of her older brother, Christian, who was heir to the throne. While Prince Christian was trained from the start to lead, Mary ensured Isabella was raised not to follow, but to lead in her own right. Friends of the royal household describe Mary's parenting as firm but affectionate, deeply involved, and strategic without being overbearing. She has been known to limit social media exposure for her children, encourage traditional Danish schooling, and even involve them in environmental activism, charity visits, and intercultural programs. Princess Isabella, insiders say, was given space to explore her own passions, with strong emphasis on self-discipline and responsibility. At home, Queen Mary is not queen first. She is more mom. But she is also a coach, preparing her daughter not just for public appearances, but for the scrutiny and demands of a digital age. Every glance, outfit, smile, or in this case, elbow bump, can become a headline. And under Mary's watchful guidance, Isabella has mastered the art of making even a mishap look magical. Beyond her royal titles, Princess Isabella's daily life reflects a mix of tradition and modernity. She attends Oregard Gymnasium, a respected secondary school in Gentofte, where she is known by classmates as simply Isabella or Bella. Teachers and fellow students alike describe her as intelligent, socially engaged, and sometimes unexpectedly funny, just like the girl we saw on the cathedral steps. She has shown strong interest in the environment, fashion, and social justice, participating in youth workshops on climate policy and education reform. But perhaps most important is her role within her family. As the older sister to Prince Vincent and Princess Josephine, Isabella has often acted as the bridge between generations. While Christian bears the weight of the crown, Isabella is seen as the family's emotional center, playful, empathetic, yet always aware of her role. On public holidays and royal events, she is often the one glancing at her younger siblings, correcting a posture or whispering a reminder. During Queen Margrethe's abdication celebrations, she was spotted gently fixing her brother Vincent's sash as the cameras rolled. That instinct, to support, to connect, to care, mirrors Queen Mary's legacy. It's no wonder their elbow bump moment went viral. Because beneath the laughter was a truth everyone could see: Isabella is not just a princess. She's a person. But let's be honest, being born into royalty isn't all tiaras and smiles. With Isabella's 18th birthday came new responsibility, and not all of it is glamorous. She now falls under adult scrutiny. Every public appearance is measured, every gesture analyzed. Rumors swirl around her dating life, her fashion choices, and her friendships. Already, European tabloids have begun positioning her as the next royal fashion icon, or a future queen in training. And while she may never sit on the Danish throne, her role could mirror that of Princess Madeleine of Sweden, Princess Beatrice of York, or even Princess Martha Louise of Norway, working royals who balance personal freedom with national expectations. Sources close to the palace say discussions are already underway regarding Isabella's official role in the royal court. Will she represent Denmark abroad? Will she take on patronages? Or will she choose a quieter life, academic, philanthropic, or even artistic? At this point, the options are wide open. But if the cathedral mishap proved anything, it's that Isabella can carry herself through anything, even with cameras clicking and a crowd of thousands watching. This one tiny, funny moment between Mary and Isabella may have triggered more than a few laughs. It may have symbolized something larger. The beginning of a new royal style. A monarchy no longer defined solely by its past, but led by mothers and daughters who can balance elegance with authenticity. As Queen Margrethe recedes from public life and King Frederick and Queen Mary step into full reign, the Danish monarchy faces transformation. And at the center of that transformation stands Isabella, heart Gen Z, heart regal aristocrat, and fully a product of Queen Mary's new royal DNA. The elbow bump will be remembered as a footnote in history. But it might also be the first public chapter in a bigger story. The story of how a princess became Denmark's most human royal. Thanks for watching.